Hello and welcome to Your New Jersey. I'm Marie Falbo. On today's show, we meet Dan Buzzetta, a New Jersey attorney turned author whose debut legal thriller, The Manipulator, is earning comparisons to John Grisham. But first, Joel Steele, a Cherry Hill-based author and entrepreneur, is turning his story into a movement with his new book, Life Switch, and a bold pledge to donate $1 million to charity if it sells 1 million copies. Joel, welcome to the show, and how incredible is this?
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
It's like a story within a story, this pledge.
Yeah, it's exciting though, right? Because everyone who reads the book is part of the mission. They are helping to donate 7 figures to charity. It's not hard, and worst case scenario, you're going to be entertained and be inspired and hopefully be part of that huge movement that we have going here.
So let's start with the book, Life Switch. Tell us about it.
I wrote the book because I just felt compelled one day to share everything I learned, all the things I went through, good, bad, and ugly. I've had failures, I've had successes, I've had multiple lives, and I think we all have. And the story is really relatable. It's not about me or what I went through, it's having other people read it and think about their own lives. Because you're in the present right now, but there's a lot you can gather from the past. You can really extract value out of that so your future can be as bright and bold as possible.
Absolutely. So what are some of the anecdotes from the book that you're willing to share? Not to give too much away.
Yeah, no, there's plenty in there, but there's 3 things, and they're simple. The first is my 2-step formula for success and fulfillment. Step 1 is figure out in your life what needs to be done. Step 2 is to go out and do it. It's simple, but it's really effective. Another one is A to B. And this has 2 meanings to it. One is you're at right now in life, you're point A. And where do you want to be? That's your point B. How do you get there? And if you figure out where you are very clearly and have a clear vision of your destination, you're going to have the best chance to get there. And then the other part about A to B is decisions, choices we're always making, option A or option B. Option A is usually the comfortable choice, the easy one without a big payoff. Option B is the one that can open up the opportunities to amazing things. You can go from an ordinary life to an extraordinary life when you choose option B. And then the last one is B to A, and that's believe to achieve. I truly believe, and you'll read about this in the book, if you believe that you can do something and you've remove doubt, then anything is possible. Anything is possible. If I ever had a tattoo, it would be that, because I think it's true for anybody if they really believe that and live that.
You've been through hell and back, though, obviously, in reading your book. I mean, bankruptcy, near-death experiences. How did you rebound from those?
Yeah, it was incredibly difficult. And as I wrote this book, I went back and I went through these experiences. And at first, I had 2 pages about my failed restaurant. But when I went back and I really put myself there, it just exploded. The emotion, the vivid nature of what happened, the things that I wanted to forget about, some things I did forget about and my wife reminded me of. But I went back and I did this because I thought there's so much more that people can learn about failing but then getting back up. And like sports, you only lose if you quit on yourself. If you give your best effort, you kind of can't lose if you think about it that way. So my goal was to take all the things I went through, especially my failure, show how I turned them around and how anyone else can take debt, divorce, anything negative in their life, and instead of letting it pull them to the bottom of the ocean, they can use it as a platform to launch off of. And really, I think the further your back is against the wall, the more chance you have to propel yourself further away from that.
Was it scary being so vulnerable to the general public?
It didn't scare me because I just knew that it would help people. And I didn't care if some people don't like it or find something about what I said or what I did offensive. That's okay, right? You're never going to have 100% 5-star reviews, if you will, although that would be nice. But I wanted to share this because the cool thing is different people are inspired by different things. I've had people tell me that this chapter inspired them. Something I said here inspired them. People even told me that they're inspired just because I wrote the book and I said I was going to. So for some people, they say, I want to write a book or I want to do this or that, but they don't do it. And so even just seeing me have an idea, right, say I'm doing this and then see it come to life, that got other people to think, well, maybe I should pursue my dreams. And I love that. You never know where inspiration is going to come from for anybody. And so that's why I'm not scared about sharing all these different stories.
Writing a book is a big deal. I mean, I've written a book, and with all the professional things that I have going on, the most respect I felt from other people, like people I would never in a million years think would reach out, was when I published my book. Yeah. Not the TV stuff, nothing else but that.
There's something about writing a book, and you can understand this being a parent. It's the time, or a time in your life where you put something in the world that will outlive you, that will be left behind when you're gone. And it can have a huge impact on so many people. And there's something extremely selfless about that. And I have 2 kids, and when I wrote this book, it felt almost like I had a third, because I created this legacy that's going to be here. And it's just really cool with a book, because you never know who around the world, literally around the world, is going to read it, listen to it, what they're going to gather from it. And I think the best compensation is not book sales and royalties. It's when someone shows up in your inbox or a call or in person. They say, hey, you said something and it changed my life. You motivated me to do this or that. That is my favorite thing in the world. Just dropping nuggets of inspiration, planting those seeds, and then seeing when they sprout who and what it's going to be.
It's very cool. I mean, and you're going to see a decade later, like I'm approaching, which I can't even believe, for my book being published, people still will contact you and will still be interested. Yeah. But this, mine is fiction. This is life-changing stuff. You mentioned your children, your daughter's here with you today in the control room. What was their reaction to this?
My son is an avid reader. He reads books all the time. We have to keep buying him new bookshelves. And my daughter just thought it was really cool. But now that they see the actual book and they've heard part of the audiobook, they just think it's pretty cool that Dad said he was going to do this and he did it. And that to me is, again, one of the coolest things. Because if no one else reads this or loves it, at least the kids will have it. It's something that they can always listen to, something they can read. And I think I said everything I wanted to say. All the messages, lessons, experiences, I put it out there. And my publisher said, hey, you're going to definitely write a second book. And I said, I don't think so. This was incredibly difficult. I don't really know how I found the time to do it. I was just running on passion and fumes. But I can't see myself doing a second book. But again, I feel like I put everything into this. The only thing I might do is the experience from here moving forward. That might be something I can capture, and maybe also go into life switch for kids, life switch for college students, life switch for retirees. Maybe something like that, a spin-off, but not necessarily a whole second book.
Yeah, but the spin-off is a great idea. But like I said earlier, you're kind of writing that second book right now with this pledge.
Right.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. The idea is when people buy this book, every single person, whether it's an ebook, audiobook, or hardcover, every sale counts towards the 1 million sale goal. When 1 million copies of Life Switch are sold, I will donate 7 figures, $1 million to charity. And the readers get to vote for the charity of their choice. So you go to my website, bookjoelsteele.com, and you click on the campaign and you vote for your favorite charity. It could be anything. It could be in this country, it could be out of the country, your favorite, whatever you want to do. But I don't care. Whatever people want to raise money for, I'm all for it. The top 10 charities are going to get $100,000 each, and I'm going to keep this going. If Life Switch sells 2 million copies, 10 million copies, we're going to keep doing it. I'm so excited to write out these big checks. I cannot wait.
Wow. I'm sure there are a lot of charities watching right now that are clamoring to meet you and to potentially get that opportunity.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. That is maybe the best part. But in the meantime, we're going to entertain, we're going to inspire, but we're going to try to bring people together to accomplish this bigger mission. And I know we can do it. It's not going to be easy, but it's possible. And as we talked about earlier, anything is possible.
Well, you are a testament to that, obviously, with this book and everything you have overcome. But besides being an author, you have a very interesting background, including NBA ownership.
Yeah, so that was a passion of mine. I follow my passion, right?
Clearly.
I took care of putting food on the table, and the second I was able to pull up a little bit from my day job, which is running a financial advisory practice in South Jersey, I started to look around. What else is missing from my life? The competitive sports nature. I don't really play competitive sports anymore. I'm very active, but I missed it. So I wanted to be closer to sports. So I looked around and I found an opportunity to get affiliated with the NBA G League. And ultimately the team that I joined is affiliated with the Denver Nuggets. And they won the NBA championship in 2023. And I didn't know it at the time when I signed up for the team, but I was able to get an NBA championship ring because of that relationship. And it was just an amazing thing because I was a kid who would be in the $7 seats watching players play in the NBA, where I had a better seat on my couch at home. But I just loved being around the sport. I couldn't get close to it. But now it doesn't get any better than that, in my opinion. And I've even taken that and parlayed it into another sport. I now own part of a soccer team. So I'm just following my passion. I involve my family. We go on road trips. We go to the games. It's like one family joining another. And I like to combine my passions. You know, business and pleasure. People say don't mix them sometimes. I disagree. I love to mix business and pleasure.
Oh, it's one and the same. When you're passionate about what you do, really.
Totally,
It's one and the same. So you mentioned that you have a financial services practice. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's called Steele Financial Solutions, and we're in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And I'm actually a second-generation advisor. My mom started in her business back in 1981. I did not want to be in the business. I thought it would be the most boring business imaginable, and I didn't want any part of it. So that's when I decided to run from that and do something different and go into a harder business, the restaurant business. So I went into that because my passion was fitness, was healthy eating and working out, getting in good shape. I became a certified personal trainer. I opened up a healthy fast food restaurant chain in Philadelphia. I had 3 stores that ultimately didn't work out, but I saw the upside. I saw the ceiling about you can work as hard as you want and make as much money as you want. In my case, it was as much money as I needed to pay off the debt. So that's how I got into it. But I also got into the business because my mom was specializing in 2 different areas. So I thought, let me study everything else that she's not doing. And when I came in, we had 2 totally different businesses. And most people that know us don't even realize that we didn't start working together for 2 years. It became an organic synergy because she had specialties, I had specialties. And when we married those together, we went from 1 + 1 = 8. I mean, it was off the charts, the synergy, and everyone benefited from that. But I always say this, look, when you're moving forward, it's like swimming. You're going forward, but pop your head above the water sometimes. Look around. What other opportunities do you see that you can swim towards?
Yeah. Your clients must love you. And, you know, you're very motivating, and I'm sure you offer really sage advice to them because retirement is scary.
It is. And you know, I've helped my clients a lot, but they've helped me too. I've learned a lot about living over these past 22 years and what to do and what not to do with my life. Because think about this. I started as a 24-year-old financial advisor, and I'm meeting with retirees in their 60s, 70s, even 80s and beyond. And they showed me that you have to live life now. They would trade all the money they had to be my age. And at the time, I thought I would trade my youth for their money. So it's like, well, what's the right balance? You know, if you had 7 years left to live or 30 years left to live, why would you not live to the fullest? And that's what I've been doing ever since I realized that. And that's one of the messages I'm trying to spread. Live an extraordinary life, not just ordinary. You don't want to survive. That's the baseline. You want to thrive.
Well, Joel, I could tell you are not ordinary in every sense of the word. Definitely extraordinary. Thank you so much. Where can people find out more about you and to purchase the book?
Yeah, the book is everywhere that books are sold, but you can go to bookjoelsteele.com to learn about me, the book, the mission of donating $1 million to charity, but you can grab it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, anywhere. It's an audiobook, ebook, and a hardcover as well.
Well, best of luck to you, and I look forward to seeing you hit that pledge.
Thank you so much.
Play it like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Etch your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.
Dan Buzzetta traded courtroom briefs for page-turning thrillers. The New Jersey attorney and debut novelist is earning rave reviews for The Manipulator, a fast-paced legal drama packed with twists, secrets, and mob intrigue. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
I enjoyed writing it. It was a lot of fun to write the story.
So my number one question to authors, because I am one myself, 9 years removed when I published my debut novel, I haven't had the time to sit and write a follow-up or anything since. How do you find the time with your career, your family, your local politics? So how do you find the time?
Well, I jokingly say that it took me a mere 30 years to write this book. I literally started writing and wrote the first 3 chapters after my first year of law school some 30 years ago. And I was going to get back to writing, but then life took over, right? Law school, summer associate position, graduating, starting a career, meeting the woman who would become my wife, starting a family. And I never got back to it until 2020. I wasn't commuting into my office in Manhattan. I had a couple of hours extra in my day. And I was talking to my oldest son, who's now in medical school, and he said to me, "Hey, Dad, didn't you write a book once?" And I said, "Well, I wrote the first 3 chapters of a book. What's it about?" So I told him what the story was about, and he said, "You know what, Dad, that sounds like a great story. You should write it." So I picked up where I left off. I read those first 3 chapters. They were terrible. Started over again, and it took me about a year, a little more than a year, to write what became The Manipulator.
You needed to build up your experience.
I did, and there are a couple of real-life cases that I had worked on over the years that make their way into the story to make it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more dynamic. So I needed that experience. I needed that time, and it turned out quite happy with it.
So did you have experience with mob-related trials?
Not directly.
Okay.
I'm a civil litigator. I'm a business litigator. But I grew up on Staten Island. My father's from Sicily. I'm Italian. So sort of the aura, the mystique, organized crime and the mafia, I became interested in it at a young age and studied it, studied the history of it, the influence that it had on communities, not only in New York, but throughout the United States. So it was always a point of interest for me. And it figures prominently in the story.
The story is set in New York City, by the way. Love the cover design.
Thank you.
They did an excellent job. Who's your publisher?
Severn River Publishing. They chose the cover and quite pleased with it.
They did.
Yeah.
They really did an excellent job. It tells the whole story.
Thank you.
The colors, everything.
Little did I know that in order to be published, you need an agent. And I thought, well, I'll just hire an agent. Not so fast. Agents hire you. You don't hire an agent. So I queried over 180 agents in a 240-word query letter. That's what you send out to agents. And
I've been there. I know. It's tedious. It's terrible.
And the rejections.
Yeah.
I think I was up to about 86 or 87 rejections from agents. It almost got to the point where I was looking forward to a rejection rather than not hearing at all, because at least I know that they'd received the letter and had read it. Finally, I think it was in 2022, an agent called me and said, "I love it. I love the story. I love the premise. Send me the manuscript." Sent her the manuscript. She read it. She said, "I'd love to represent you." And we were off to the races. We edited the book a couple of rounds, and then we submitted it to publishers. Again, rejection, couple of rejections, and then finally Severn River Publishing came in and said, "We love the book. We love the writing, and we'd like to give you a multi-book deal." And I was surprised. I thought I was one and done. I only had one book that I was passionate about, which is this. But we signed on, and I wrote book 2.
Unbelievable. Well, congratulations on all of that, because, and I know you have your sights set to possibly the movies with this as well.
As I wrote the book, I'm very visual. So I wrote it and I was seeing the movie, right? I was seeing the book as I was writing it. And a number of people that have read it have all said that they think it ought to be a movie. So who knows?
The next thriller trilogy.
That would be
nice.
Never know. You never know.
Summarize the book. So obviously it's set in New York City. What is it about?
So a young lawyer who is on track to becoming partner at the world's largest and most prestigious law firm, Tom Bertay, Harvard educated, really living a storybook life in New York, unexpectedly receives an offer from the managing partner of his law firm to become the second in command at the Department of Justice. A little unusual, but then again, he had had so many successes in his career, Harvard undergrad, Harvard Law School, a clerkship, the job at the law firm, that he just thought this was just another step in that rise on his career. Accepts the job, goes to Washington, D.C. to become the second in command of the DOJ, and he's tasked with bringing to justice the enigmatic mastermind of an international criminal syndicate, Cosimo Nino Benedetto, who lives on a magnificent super yacht sailing the Mediterranean. And as he investigates this syndicate, he begins to see ties between his former law firm and the syndicate. And he discovers ties about his own family and the syndicate. And who that enigmatic leader is, and the connection to Tom Bertay, and how Tom got the job, is part of the story of how he was manipulated into becoming the second in command at the DOJ.
Very cool and interesting. Only a lawyer could write something like this and think of these scenarios.
I enjoyed it. It was fun writing it. A lot of plot twists, sprinkled with some hints along the way, and then, you know, as the story progresses, the reader realizes that the connections that I've made along the way. So it's enjoyed success so far. I'm grateful for it. It was a passion project, and really happy the way it turned out.
How has your community, both Colts Neck and your fellow lawyers, how have they received it?
So really well, and I'm grateful for them. I work in a large firm that's a national law firm. We have over 1,000 lawyers, and they've been really supportive. I'm hearing from a lot of lawyers across our offices across the United States who've read the book, who said they really enjoyed it. A lot of good friends and family from the Colts Neck area. We had a book signing at a Barnes & Noble in Homedale, New Jersey on August 19, and over 100 people came out for the book signing. So that was heartwarming. I was grateful. I don't take any of it for granted, and I really appreciate it. And really humbled when someone says that they read my book. You know, they take time out of their day to read something that I wrote. I'm really appreciative of that. I don't take it for granted at all.
You released it at the right time. It's a great Jersey Shore read.
It is. It is. Great time, great book to read on the beach.
Exactly, or those winter vacations now.
There you go.
So besides being an author and a lawyer and a family man, you are also in local politics in Colts Neck. Tell us about that.
I began in January serving on the local governing body in Colts Neck as a township committee member. I was elected in the November 2024 election. Took my seat in January of 2025. It's a 3-year term. I'm honored that the residents of Colts Neck voted for me and asked me to represent them on the governing body. I take that job very seriously. It's a volunteer position, but the members that I serve with are dedicated people doing it because they believe in the community, they want to do what's right for the community, and it's a privilege, really, to serve on that committee.
What makes you so passionate about Colts Neck?
We've lived there, my family and I have lived there now for 14 years. My kids have grown up there. It's a small, knit community, maybe about 9,000 or 10,000 residents, but you have that small town feel. People are very supportive, they're outgoing, they're friendly. You get to know a lot of people, right? Although there are no sidewalks and it's hard to get around, the people that you do know, it's that family feel. And we just love living in Colts Neck.
Have you bumped into some of your famous neighbors?
I have not. I'm hoping to meet them.
So it's Bruce Springsteen. Bon Jovi also lives in Colts Neck.
Rumson, I think,
okay,
yeah.
all right.
But Bruce Springsteen certainly is a neighbor.
Slip a book in his mailbox.
Good idea. Maybe I'll do that. And I'm also a volunteer firefighter in Colts Neck.
Wow.
I did that in 2021, right after writing the book. I needed another project.
I guess
and
so. We're busy enough.
I always been fascinated with people that serve their communities and, you know, run into danger instead of running away from danger. I wanted to help, so I went to the fire academy and became a volunteer fireman.
You need to write a book about your life next, after you fulfill your 3-book deal.
Right.
Because I mean, you've worn a lot of different hats, and it's all worked out really well for you.
Well, you know, it's about trying to give back to the community. My wife started it in our family. She was president of the PTO. She volunteers. So we all got the bug, and each member of our family, my kids and I, we want to follow in those footsteps and give back to the community to the extent we can.
Have you given back through your book?
We have. I'm donating a portion of the proceeds of the book to various charities. I'm doing it quietly and anonymously, frankly, but portions of the proceeds will be going to charities.
Do you want to name the charities?
Autism charities and Parkinson charities and Kidney Foundation.
Wow.
All those have touched my family in different ways, and so it's something that I hope to give back.
That's beautiful. Well, Dan, I'm so happy that you came here today.
Thank you for
It was a
having me.
pleasure getting to know you, and
Thank you.
congratulations on all of the success across the board.
Thank you.
Where can people find out more about you and to purchase a copy of The Manipulator?
DanBuzzetta.com, Instagram, author Dan Buzzetta, Facebook, and you can purchase the book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and local retailers.
We will certainly do that.
Thank
Best
you.
of luck to you, Dan.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. We'll see you back here next week.
Play it like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Etch your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.